Laurel said she was going to be a little bit late, but I think I see her coming.
I'm sure Dawn got a text, but not being cell phone savvy, I don't get those.
No
And
text for you.
And she's helping the 80-year-olds out right now with their phones and iPads, how to do things.
Yes. That's always fun.
Yeah. I'll be curious to see in, 25, 30 years what we're trying to learn how to do.
Right.
Something with virtual reality. I don't know.
What will it be? I wonder.
Yeah, I wonder too.
Technology has been moving so fast. What could it be? Like just trying to get my trying to program my cryopod so I can be resuscitated in 500 years time. I don't know. I don't know what it'll be.
Or maybe they'll start doing implants into our bodies that we just have like a little computer attached to our brain.
Oh yeah.
Augmented. Yeah, we'd be augmented.
Yeah, maybe I need help programming my bionic hip implant or something.
Yep, there you go. So you
Dawn, we're speculating what kind of technology help we will need in 20 or 30 years time.
Oh gosh. Like I'm just thinking I just feel so helpless for them because it's just so much. Like everything is so overwhelming that I can see circuits just shutting down, even though that some things they've already learned. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, what is it? So we're gonna do remote control, maybe controlling other people, not just our hips.
We don't know.
What will it be? What will the technology frontiers be that give us trouble?
There will be no longer remotes.
Yeah,
which we already have today. I think you can have this. Where basically you want to do something, you're just pointing at your TV and doing this, and you got to have the right hand motion.
Nope.
But by 80, our hands will be doing this, and we're like, I can't get it. That's part of the problem. Just touch that button. Ooh, wrong button.
I already feel that way about my Nest thermostat. Yeah, you just come close, and it recognizes you're there, and then you just do a tiny little touch on the outside, and that's what sets it.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
You're way ahead of us.
That's when I'm not controlling it from my phone, which is the real innovation is that I can now turn on the heater in the house from my cell phone.
From your cell phone.
Well, I've seen those
from the comfort of my bed, I can turn on the heat.
Where people could do everything from their cell phone in their house. I've seen advertisements like that where your house is all digital.
Cameras or temperature,
changing the fridge.
Or the whole smart house thing. Yeah, the whole smart house thing. I know. My little app that's supposed to control all the smart devices is just a little empty. There's one. There's a thermostat. That's all I need. But yeah,
I think we'll just be. We won't have everything we do is not going to require us to physically move.
Very good point.
Like that movie WALL-E.
Oh,
where the humans are just floating along on lounge chairs and they're just incredibly fat.
Yeah,
I think that's WALL-E.
You've got automated vacuums already. It could be everything automated.
And I just learned automated lawnmowers.
Well, that seems like an obvious, like a Roomba for lawns. That makes total sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Well, then we'll have like a Roomba for going to work. Like I'm not going to go to work. I'm just going to have my Roomba go to work.
Send the robot.
Your avatar.
Well, it's actually a bit of a problem. I have this. I'm the CFO for this nonprofit organization, and we're changing our bank because the Oregon bank that we were banking with requires anybody who has a signature authority to come to the physical place. I was like, well, our new board chair is in California and our new treasurer is in DC, so that's not going to work. So we switched to an online bank. Great bank, love everything about them, but they have outsourced their credit and debit card function, right? So if you want a physical debit card, like to, I don't know, go to an Office Depot and buy pencils or whatever, so we applied to get this cash card type thing. And they go, what's your physical address? I'm like, well, we don't have a physical address. So I gave them our mailing address, which is a street address for UPS store, but they figured out it's a UPS store. And they go, we can't take it. I'm like, well, then I guess you're not giving us a card because we do not have a physical office.
Like you're
And
the
I
only
can
people
give
that ever
you,
worked from home?
it's totally bizarre, right? And then I said, well, I could give you a director's address. Well, do you have anything with your organization's name at that address? Well, no, because our mailing address is the UPS stores. I'm having this completely cross-purpose conversation with these people. I'm like, hello, it is the 21st century,
Weird.
right? Like you
That's
have to figure
really
this
bizarre.
out, right? It's
Yeah,
totally bizarre that you have to have a physical address attached to a debit card of all things. Anyway,
so is it, so what's the remedy? Have
there is
you,
none that I can see. I'm now in the fifth circle of hell with their customer support, who keep pointing out that this address is a UPS store. I'm like, yeah, I know it's a UPS store. That's the whole
so maybe you
idea.
could help them out with advice on policy change. Like maybe you
Uh,
can be like,
it's
hey,
so
I
funny,
think
guys.
you've got a problem here. I'd be happy to help you with that.
Well, I mean, I can understand wanting to secure the card, but if you have a director of the organization saying you can secure it to me personally at
Mhm.
my address, then
Mhm.
why have the additional burden? Oh, you now have to show the name of the organization at your personal address? No, that makes no sense. Anyway, so
Hmm.
well, no idea what the remedy is. We're escalating it to management.
It's a round and round conversation.
Laurel, you missed the part where we were contemplating what technological frontiers the four of us might be trying to bridge in 20 or 30 years' time, apropos teaching our 80-year-old parents how to use technologies.
And so we were
Oh,
talking about smart homes and, just using your hands to turn the
Yeah.
TV on, your
Or
computer. and-
thinking, or having your Roomba go to work for you. If they got Roomba for house cleaning, maybe they'll have something to just do your everything for you.
Yeah,
Chris and I just came down from upstairs helping my mom's friend who is like 75, and then my mom with all the questions. And what I found, and I didn't tell Chris this, they're just losing the simple function of like composing an email, which both of them have done for a number of years.
uh-huh.
But because I think you're learning other new things, whatever that might be, it's like, wait, now how do I write an email? I can't write an email. I'm like, the little pencil.
my mom, when I looked at her email, she had, I don't know, like 20 drafts. So she doesn't finish it, it just goes in a draft and it just sits there. And then I've been trying to help her get rid of spam, mark emails spam. So she's like not getting all these junk emails.
Yes.
She gets a ton of them.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
she just deletes them.
Yeah.
Which is not a big deal.
No, it's more like, my mom's going through bills that are coming from her checking account and from her credit card, and like, some like balancing all that, but teaching or doing through that. Yeah. I just can't imagine what we'll have to, unless we go off grid, and then it'll be simple. Like, this is how you need to, build a fire again.
Oh, we'll be bartering with we'll be bartering with seashells or something like that.
That's what it is. We've lost our ability to actually, operate in environment, right? Surviving off land, building our own fire, shelter. So really, that's really what it's going to go back to. We're not going to have any more advanced. Eventually, it's just going to go back to like the bare necessities of survival. That's what it's going to be.
I hope that's after I'm done.
Oh, so you mean we're just going to loop back and we're going to have to
Full circle, because we're just going to like
circle.
ruin everything.
She's proposing a collapse of the civilization as we know it.
Yeah, that's not far off. I mean,
No.
my stepdaughter years ago was working for one of these therapeutic camps for difficult teenagers, right? Where they either send you to juvie or they send you into the wilderness. And she was a camp counselor there, and she said the kids were so. This is like 15 years ago, but the kids they basically had no survival skills. Like you could just by virtue of blindfolding them and driving them out like into Eastern Oregon, you open up the blindfolds and they had no idea where they were. They have no chance of navigating by the stars, no chance of finding water or doing anything, right? So they didn't have to, it's not like they had to shackle them or anything. They just had to
Yeah.
put them in the wilderness. And these kids were like, wow.
I would say the majority of people our age too would have
Oh,
some
totally.
issues. Yeah.
Well, just awareness of where the sun is at a certain time of year, or what is east and west.
Right. Yeah.
Surprising, even like, is it north or south? They're like, it's left. What was the name of do you remember the name of the camp that she was?
Yeah, I think they've since closed Sage Walk.
Mm.
Out of I think they were headquartered out of Bend. but they
Okay,
got swept up. There were a whole bunch of scandals in the early 2000s, I think, with those kinds of camp facilities.
yes, yeah, about the
Um,
physical, like,
Yeah, I think the way the kids were being removed from their homes it sounded pretty traumatic actually, the way
oh,
the kids
really?
were being transferred, yeah.
I worked at a camp on the East Coast in my twenties. It's a similar thing, like, but we didn't do a lot of survival skills, but we lived in, like, pretty primitive settings in the woods. And it was more, that was not to learn survival skills as much as like learning how, just behavior modification, really. And same thing, either you go to, juvie, or you do this
Right,
wilderness.
right.
Coping
And
skills.
that sometimes happens with people who are mental health issues as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a great concept. I feel like it was, successful in the sense, because you basically strip away everything that they identify with, and then you just kind of get back down to right to their behavior and
Mhm.
like, okay, so you're actually causing the problem right now. Do you see that?
Yeah, there's a certain age my kids went through where their peers went to wilderness and got either their parents without their knowledge or consent sent them on these programs, or sometimes with their knowledge and consent. And it was that kind of thing, Astrid, where they would be basically turned over into the custody of a wilderness program and taken out for a month or however long.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
it was, I guess it was behavioral modification, mental health, you know.
How long did your kids do it?
Yeah, our kids were an average stay of 11 months.
Mm,
So it was pretty,
Wow.
but it wasn't that, like, I feel both of them had, I'm assuming that what they're doing is in that setting is just stripping it all down pretty quickly on a high, fast forward sort of speed,
Mhm.
because it's about kind of life and death, where this was really all about living, right? Working together, cooking together, going to bed together, everyone moving as a unit. And,
And it was an option instead of detention,
oh no, it was
Oh,
not an
juvenile.
option.
Versus
Of the
juvenile.
10 girls I had,
right?
one was sent by her parents, the other were all by courts or social.
Right.
Or-
So I guess what I mean was that if you didn't go to this wilderness program, you would be in detention. Is that
Yeah,
Mm,
court
juvenile.
ordered?
Well, yeah, I would say that most of
And
it was court ordered,
Mhm.
except for one, which is the rarity, but most of them were court ordered,
Mhm.
with a range of, like, I guess, baggage, if you will, or, story coming in. Some were pretty horrific, and then others were, not so much.
Right.
But,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
that's
think
different. I do remember all those camps having those problems though, and the conditions that they were putting them in and blah, blah, blah.
Well, I think in some places it got pretty dangerous. I think what they were doing with the
Yeah.
kids in the wilderness. I know Julie's camp they were super conscientious, and I don't
Mhm.
think there were ever any problems while she was there. But I feel like there may have been things right after she left or something that would. So
Mhm. I like the idea though,
yeah, I like the idea too.
the separation from social, just to kind of break it down.
Well,
away
and yeah, and they would have things like, yeah, I mean, you're completely helpless, right? You really have to pay attention and listen, and then they had all these things about earning privileges, right? Like you were basically earning, like salt in your oatmeal was a privilege, right? Like any kind of
Yeah.
spices. So they had like,
Wow,
the
yeah.
pretty basic, super basic incentives,
Talk about not taking things for granted.
Yeah, shoelaces,
Yeah. Yeah.
That's interesting.
So how you two been doing the last week? Good? You're like,
We
haven't seen you
yeah,
this week.
we yeah. I've had kind of a long day at work, so it's like, wait, what day is it? And then I'm like, it's
Yeah.
Monday.
Jesus,
Yesterday was the weekend. We actually went to Muir Woods yesterday, which
Oh,
was
fun.
wonderful. I'd never been.
Nice.
So hugged some redwoods, and then we came back and stopped off at the Golden Gate Bridge and walked up on the Marin side and
Mm,
saw the view over the bridge, the fog
Nice.
coming in, and
Mhm.
it's a real kind of family spot up there. Like, there's just super windy and crazy, but everybody's up there with families and taking pictures and stuff. So it was fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Refreshing.
yeah,
My last weekend in California.
Oh,
I leave on Saturday. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
That sounds like you made good use of the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Made the most of it.
years ago, when I first started working, like 20 years ago, I had an office in the Presidio. So we were living on the
Mm.
Marine
Oh,
side.
wow.
Mhm.
We were living in Larkspur, and I had an office in the Presidio. So once or twice a week, when the weather was nice, I would bike into work, believe it or not, from Larkspur, which you could do. It was already all bike trails. It was pretty safe. I mean, there were a couple of spots where you had to cross major roads, and then you would bike across the Golden Gate Bridge,
Mhm,
be
mhm.
soaking wet, of course, arriving at the office, but we had a shower in the building, and
That's
then do that
cool.
same on the way back, and it was just epic. Like that riding across the Golden Gate at sunset.
That's insane.
They have all the bikes on
I don't know where
on the
Larkspur
westward
is.
side.
Where's Larkspur?
It's if you're driving back to the East Bay from Muir Woods and you go across the Richmond Bridge,
Mhm.
you know, you come from Muir Woods, you hit Mill Valley,
Right.
and then 101 actually just before it curves and goes towards San Quentin. That's Corte Madera.
Okay.
Larkspur,
Yep. I know exactly. Having just driven through there. So
what did I say? Yeah.
yeah, that's far.
Yeah, it's 12 miles. I was
Yeah.
fit then. I could do it in just over an hour.
Yeah.
Well
Wow.
done.
And there's some big hills in
Yeah, I was
South, you
gonna
know,
say, and Mill Valley is not like,
it's not easy.
yeah.
Not a valley, not just flat.
Well, it is a
well,
valley,
no,
but you gotta get
well,
up in and out of it.
No, I mean there was a gradual climb into Mill Valley, and then it was mostly flat, but then you had to climb up to the Golden Gate, like you hit Sausalito,
Mhm,
Mhm.
and
mhm,
then it was
mhm,
about it was a mile or a mile and a half that was really hard.
mhm,
But then
mhm,
you're flying on the way home, right?
mhm.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
When you want it most.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had actually parked and thought that we could walk across the bridge, but and we could have, but one side of the bridge is bicycles and the other side is pedestrians.
Yeah.
So we were on the wrong side. We would have had to walk down under the bridge and back up to walk across the
Mm,
bridge.
Right.
So
Yeah,
we
it's the
walked up,
westward.
we walked up the hill to look at the bridge instead, which was fun, which
Yeah,
was
it's that westward side that is the bikes, I think, which is
right,
why it's so phenomenal when you're riding your
right.
bike. It's like you're right there. It's like you and then the Pacific Ocean. It's awesome.
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah,
that's
it is
super cool.
gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, that's a great bike ride.
Yeah.
Really nice.
So now you have another week of work and then you're heading back east.
Yes. Yep. That's
Dawn
right.
heads home tomorrow.
And I fly home tomorrow.
You fly home tomorrow. Oh,
too. Yep. So, but you know, I'm looking forward to it, but also super grateful. And it's not like I'm like, oh, I can't wait to get out of here, or I can't wait to get to Portland. But it's time to,
right.
you know,
Yeah.
doing kind of something a little bit more, I guess, normal, if you will, for at least a while.
Yeah, and I mean, at least here in this area, it just people are getting vaccinated so fast. We talked about this
Yeah.
the other day, that it's just things are feeling like just in the last couple of weeks have started to feel more normal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the pace is pretty slow up here, but yeah, it's, I don't know if I feel it as much as maybe in the cities.
Mhm,
I
mhm.
feel like,
It's-
I don't know.
It's very laid back here. It's very rural.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting vaccinated tomorrow, getting my first vaccine.
Yeah. Astrid's on the list.
I made the
What?
list.
I didn't think,
Yeah.
because I didn't think they were doing 50 and over until May.
Well,
Or
you know
16
what
and over.
you know what they screwed up. I was one of the 11,000 people that got called, like got
Oh.
the invitation to make an appointment, and then hours later, I made the appointment right away. And hours later, they sent an email saying, "Oops, we sent 11,000 appointment invitations to people who weren't supposed to get called until April 19.
Hmm.
But we will honor them. If you've already made your appointment, we will honor the appointment." So I get to go tomorrow.
And you're getting which one, do you know?
Pfizer, I think it said.
Pfizer
Yeah, at the convention center.
Convention
At the
Center.
convention center.
Well, and since then, my phone's been buzzing. Like I got another invitation, like, saying I could now go and get vaccinated somewhere else. I'm like, go figure.
Because you're in the system, maybe.
Yeah, I signed up through that OHA thing. Yeah.
I wonder if people will kind of make a big deal out of coming to the convention center, like, I don't know, like wear Superman outfits, or like there's always going to be some funny people like that, right? Particularly
Well,
in
there you go.
Portland, I would
There's
think.
an idea, Astrid. There you go. Be
Yeah.
one of those people.
I'm gonna come
Be
dressed
one
up, come dressed up as a spore.
Yeah.
I mean, you remember on Halloween, people had those like
Yeah.
COVID costumes
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah.
Well, you still got time, Astrid. Pull
Yeah.
something together.
Sure. Sure. Yeah. My COVID cosplay. Yeah, I can see it now.
Make sure you leave a spot for, bare spot right there. They are.
Oh my, can you guys hear like crazy sawing going on?
No.
No.
No. Okay, good. Somebody just
When you-
started like chopping down a tree next door, like a big chainsaw.
Well, and you didn't hear what was going on here. We had 2 tornado warnings while we were talking to you. I mean, not practice ones. So
Oh,
they're testing the siren to make sure everybody can hear it.
So
Oh,
in this
wow.
town, the noon, we have a noon whistle. The fire hall sets off the noon whistle. And then anytime there's a call, an ambulance or fire, the siren goes off.
hmm,
And you do not want to be by that siren when it goes off.
I can imagine.
Because we're pretty far from it.
Yeah, my mom lives 2 miles from town, and if the wind is not blowing away, towards it, if it's, neutral or blowing towards her house, you can hear it 2 miles away easily.
Wow.
It's pretty loud.
Wow.
The things I'll miss.
The Friday, the Friday.
I think I'd
siren.
rather listen to the new whistle than all the sirens we get to hear.
That's true.
Well, shall we get going today?
Let's do it.
Sure.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Oh,